Hello, welcome to Full of a Took, the, number one book club style Lord of the Rings podcast with four hosts based out of slightly western Pennsylvania.
We're not west at all.
It's slightly west of
Philadelphia.
It's slightly west of the east.
Yeah.
That's all I got.
Yep.
Welcome to Full of a Took. We're here to talk about The Two Towers, Chapter 3. The Black Gate is Closed, which is a really interesting chapter. There's plenty to dive into, but first, I just want to say this book is getting... What is the opposite of exciting?
Oh, no.
Dreadful.
Odious?
I don't want to give away how I felt
that's a good
about it,
one.
but I just was curious if you guys knew the opposite of the best book I've ever read.
Tedious.
Tedious.
Yeah. that's a
If
good
we
one.
didn't have a podcast to do, I'd stop reading at this point.
What? Yikes.
That's fair because this is probably the least exciting that the narrative has been in about 400 pages.
Yeah. We are at, I had such a better time in the Old Forest when they were describing the kind of grass that was growing based on whether sunlight hit it or didn't hit it.
You mean you don't like hearing the putrid boils that are spouting
I'm not
pus on
having
them
a
as
good
they
time.
walk through the corpses?
I'm starting to really relate to Sam. I'm just like sitting here grumpy going, this sucks. But
Becoming a salty motherfucker.
yeah. You know what Gollum reminds me of? Have you ever dated somebody and they were still friends with their ex? And the ex lingered around hanging out as like a friend. And you were like, Jesus Christ, this guy again. You know? Fucking just go away. And they're like, nah, it's all good. And you're like, go away. This sucks. Go away. That's what it started to feel like.
Well, before we get too far into it, I think we should go back and remember where we were and where we came from. I feel like I'm about to do mass. And from dust we shall return, my children.
Well,
The book-
we've got a bar mitzvah and mass in
Yes.
the same episode.
The book of the Lord of the Rings.
Part
Part
2,
2,
book 4.
Chapter 2. A letter from Smeagol to Gollum. All right.
You know, when my mom told me that religion would give me tools to get through hard times, I didn't think it was this.
Oh my God. All right. So last episode, Gollum guided Frodo and Sam through the dead marshes surrounding Mordor. The land was desolate and vile and filled with foul obstacles, including haunted battlegrounds and flying Nazgûl. Just when it seemed Gollum could be a trustworthy guide, Sam overheard him discussing his plot to steal back the One Ring and murder Sam.
Fun.
Yeah.
So I do want to clarify my statements that I made earlier. I did very much enjoy this chapter and reading this chapter, but emotionally, I'm relating to the characters' mindset so much right now because it is a difficult chapter for what they're going through. I mean, they're in the worst place ever.
That's such a testament to Tolkien's writing then.
Yeah.
And I don't want to get into it now, but you know, several things happen that make it worse. And the descriptions make it worse. And when you realize how bad everything is, it's a tough feeling. When it was over, I was like, whoo, like we finished it. Like, I was like, damn, I need to watch TV or something. Like that was like a heavy, stressful,
You had to
very
come down.
stressful chapter, you know?
Turn on some Bob's Burgers.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah, I have to agree. I ended the chapter feeling so down and just like I had to take a deep breath and like almost like walk outside and breathe fresh air after hearing everything they went through for like about an hour.
Yeah, seriously.
I
It was
actually
really
enjoyed
hard.
the very end of this chapter.
Wow, there's a lot of intrigue.
Ooh.
The very end.
I agree.
We'll get to it.
I agree.
That was the saving grace. I think
It
Chris
was.
would have been
It
like,
was
we're
so
quitting the
cute.
podcast. I'm never reading this book again.
I had the text half typed.
Yeah.
Guys, we made a mistake. I'm out. I'm out.
Well, yeah, so the chapter does end on a high note, kind of.
Higher.
Higher. Well, anything is higher than where it starts.
Yeah.
And
That
where
is
the,
so true.
right.
Yeah.
Because where the chapter starts is exactly where the last chapter left off. They have arrived after about 600 pages. They have arrived at Mordor. Frodo and Sam and Gollum are like crouched just below the top of this ridge. And on the other side of this little ridge is a shallow valley. And on the other side of that valley is the Black Gate of Mordor. And Frodo and Sam and Gollum are all extremely aware of this. They see the Black Gate. It's the door into Mordor. It's a single iron gate set into a black stone wall that runs the length of the valley. It's studded on either end with 2 large watchtowers, fortresses in their own rights, fortresses, impenetrable. And outside of the gate on the plain, walking along the wall, soldiers everywhere, all the time. There's no way in. There's no sneaking past any of them. The hills on either side of this valley, this pass, are like Swiss cheese with maggot holes, Tolkien says. Just tunnels and caves and barracks full of shitty orcs, awful monsters. And this is what they're presented with. As the gray light of dawn slowly starts to appear for them, this is what they see. They see the next step in their journey as this impossible step because everything they've done is predicated on secrecy. But there can be no staying secret walking up to this gate.
Right.
Even if you had a ring that could make you invisible, Sauron would see you immediately. The Wraiths would see you immediately. Like there is no way. And Sam is kind of, aw shucks, guess we fucked. And Gollum is like, yes, we are. Gollum told you that this is what you would find, and by God, you found it. And for Frodo's part, he is resigned. There's no other word for it. He said, I was always going to take the ring to Mordor. And if this is the way I must go, then this is the way I must go. And whatever happens after that was always going to happen. So I guess that's it. And as the dawn finally comes, suddenly there's horns from the towers, and there's answering horns. And far off in the distance, the deep booming drums and horns of Barad-dûr, the book says. But that's like 100 miles away, so I think that's more hyperbole than fact. But the point is that all this commotion, and suddenly everyone's in motion. And all it is the changing of the guard. Hundreds, thousands even, of guards, orcs, everybody, the day shift changing over to the night shift changing to day shift. And Gollum has a little spasm. And he's, please God, do not take the precious to him. Do not take it to him. Do not walk through this gate. You are just taking him what he wants. You could give it to me. Give me the precious. I will be nice to little hobbits. I will always be nice for everyone forever. Smeagol will be nice to everyone. You just give me the ring. Or we don't, maybe we just don't go that way. Maybe we don't go that way. There is a different way. There's another way in. And Frodo and Sam kind of look at Gollum and they're like, why the fuck didn't you say so before? And in an infuriating moment, Gollum shrugs his shoulders and says, well, you didn't ask. Master says go to the front door. I take us to the front door. It's what I said it was going to be. What did you expect?
He was remarkably convincing in that moment.
Right.
Yeah.
We've all been there.
Yeah.
There's a subreddit that I follow.
Yeah.
That I love, and it's malicious compliance.
That's exactly what it was.
Yeah.
And I thought of that immediately when I read that. Like, all right, you asked me, fine, I'll do this. Like,
Well, yeah, like after he put Sting up to him and like the rope and everything, he was like, you told me to obey you. I was just obeying. I didn't want to argue.
Yep.
And you're like, kind of like, you little fucker. Yeah.
And so while Frodo considers the likelihood of this and what he's going to do, he just kind of observes the terrain and he's soaking in this vista, this horrible vision of the Black Gate of Mordor, this fortified entrance, this passage of armies. He realizes that through the dust and the haze, he's seeing glints of steel. He's seeing people move. He's seeing an entire army. It really hits home just how outgunned and outnumbered and how fucked they are. And so he turns to Gollum and he says, you know what, Gollum, third time's the charm. This will be the third time we've placed ourselves in your care. And I bet this is it. This does the trick. Take us to whatever this secret entrance is. But you are in danger. And it's not like generic danger. Not like we're all in very, very dire peril here. All of us are going to be like flayed alive if even one person notices us here. But you, Smeagol specifically, are in a greater peril than any of us. And that peril is the ring. Because it holds sway over you. And it will try to twist you. And you have sworn an oath on the precious. And the precious will use that against you.
That was such a crazy realization in that moment for me to be like, oh yeah, like legitimately the ring kind of has its own like spirit and maliciousness inside of it. You know?
It's like a fourth character, right?
It is. Yeah.
I had to read that paragraph like 8 times.
But because Frodo follows up and he says, it will betray you. It will twist you. If I commanded you to do something, you would do it. If you tried to betray me, I could tell you to throw yourself off a cliff. I could tell you to cast yourself into fire. And you would do it. And Gollum, Smeagol, look at me. I would do that.
Darkness.
Right. Yeah. And Sam is like,
Cut to black.
cut to Sam. He's like, oh, fuck. This was a moment where Tolkien says that Sam and Gollum had both confused kindness for blindness in Frodo, right? Because Frodo just seems to like blindly trust Gollum and like it makes kind of no sense. But what Frodo understands, and because again, we're still in a narrative perspective that mostly favors Sam, Frodo knows better than Gollum does, better than Smeagol does, that they share a connection, and that connection is the ring. Frodo has all the cards right now, and he knows it. The one thing he doesn't control is how to get into Mordor. And so in response to the most severe dressing down of his whole ass life, Smeagol basically rolls over on his back like a puppy and says, no, Smeagol, be good.
Oh my God.
Good Smeagol, helpful Smeagol, always helpful, always good. Nice to good hobbits. And it takes them a while to kind of like get, okay, so what is this third way? Because again, this conversation started with Frodo deciding like, okay, we will trust you. What is this secret path? All he said is there's a secret way out. And all they can observe is that coming out of the Black Gate, like if you're walking out of Mordor, you kind of come to an intersection and you can either take the road north across the battle plain to the rest of Middle Earth, more or less, or you can go right and head further east, just out of knowledge and presumably to a worse place. Or you can make a left and then the road curves all the way left until it goes south. And an interesting thing about Sauron is that to a large degree, he doesn't create anything. He just corrupts things that have already been introduced into the world, right? Even his fortress, even Barad-dûr, even those 2 fortresses I mentioned at the Black Gate, all of that was built by Númenóreans originally, by the men of Gondor, by the ancestors of the people who would eventually defeat him. And that's why this road has a turn that just goes straight to Osgiliath, right? That used to be a road used by Númenóreans, used by Gondorians, used by the men of the West, and it was just a normal road for them.
Yeah.
Not so much anymore. Things have changed. But where the road continues, if you don't take that turn and you just go, you can go all the way south into the Southlands, which apparently are very sunny and very nice, but Gollum never goes. But if you make a left, if you head back east towards the mountains, you come to what Gollum describes as an old fortress. Now, you remember a billion years ago, we talked about how Gondor was set up, how there was Minas Tirith in the west, then there was Osgiliath in the middle, and then the furthest east was Minas Ithil, the Tower of the Moon. We're talking about Minas Ithil right now. We're talking about what used to be the Tower of the Moon. We're talking about that first stronghold of Gondor to fall to a resurgent Sauron. We're talking about Minas Morgul, the city of sorcery, the Tower of Sorcery. This is a bad and evil place. And when I said before that, like, in all of this, Gollum had a moment that made me very sad for him, it was this moment because Smeagol was tapping into stories he had been told as a child about like this shining white tower in the fortress, about silver kings with their crowns and their 7 stars and their white tree and all these things. Smeagol grew up hearing stories of Gondor and stories of Numenor. These were like heroes of legend to him and whatever people he had.
Right.
And so he tells this little story about like that's the fortress where we're going to go. It's a bad and terrible place now. It's overrun with orcs and evil things, and no one wants to go there. But this is the place we're going. And Gollum cries a little after. Like he gets weepy, and like they can't really get anything out of him for a minute. And like in that moment, my heart broke because it was like there's still something in him that sees basically old fairy tales of the world that used to be good, and something about that is so sad that today he breaks down. There was something still that the hobbits could have in common with him, buried in there somewhere still. And no matter how twisted he is, and no matter what we see on the surface, there's still something in there. Frodo's not entirely wrong. And that's so fucking sad, because that means that whatever's in there is trapped.
We had a moment similar to this happen to RJ and I. I believe it was coming home from recording a podcast episode from season 1.
Mm-hmm.
We pulled up to our house. It's like 11 o'clock. And we got out, and there was a little baby bunny sitting in the street.
Oh, no.
We have a baby bunny family that lives on our property, and we were like, oh, like we care about them. We kind of look out for them, you know? And
Yeah,
it was-
every year we have a new batch.
Yeah, and they were sitting in the front street, right in front of the driveway. I was like, oh, God. And so I got out, and I was like, come here, bud. And I was going to try to, like, you know, they get a little scared of us, so I could shoo them up the driveway into the property and out of the street. This motherfucker turned around, hopped twice, and jumped down the sewer drain. Then he landed on the ground down there. There's not like there's active water. It's like a dry summer
He
night.
just hopped down a sewer?
And he sat underneath the grates looking at us.
Jesus Christ.
And I said, I can't help you anymore, dude. You're trapped down there. What do you do?
Yeah.
And what did I do?
You tried to lift the grate.
Yeah. In my drunken post-podcast stupor, I went through the garage, got out crowbars.
Oh my God.
I was like, I'm ripping the grate off the street and I'm saving this guy. I got it lifted a couple inches up. And then the noise scared him and he jumped into the tunnel.
Nope.
And I went, okay, sorry, good luck.
Goodbye.
Good luck.
He made his life choice.
And I got so sad.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how I felt about Smeagol in that moment. Just like this trapped thing that he's never going to get out of the shell.
Yeah.
That's it.
It's
Because
crazy.
he's powered by fear. Yeah, because even before he got the ring, he was always looking downward into the dark.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah, if it just magnifies the things that are already in you, Smeagol had a lot of darkness, but like it was really an interesting moment for the narrative because it gets thrown away like at the end of the paragraph, right? It's just Smeagol relating to Frodo and Sam kind of in a haphazard way, this story of what he thinks this fortress is.
Yeah.
Because also remember, this is one of the places where a Palantir might have gone missing.
Yeah.
Sam and Frodo are like, okay, yeah, but you're telling me that what? We're just supposed to walk through a cursed fortress? Like that was your exit? That's how you escaped? And Gollum's like, fucking no. There's a little side path. I found a sneaky little path because I'm a sneaky little guy. And they're still like, and what? And Sauron doesn't know everything about every inch of his own country, that the magic eye that can see everything doesn't know where this path is. And Gollum makes a very good point at this moment.
Blind spot.
Because yes, it's what he's describing. Because what do we know about Sauron? He's mostly concerned with a warlord coming out of the west to defeat him in a straight combat, like a straight test of armies and strength. And this little side path, blind spot, is too small for an army.
Yeah.
So it's of no use to Sauron's enemies.
he
So
just sees Smeagol Gollum like scuttling through like a spider. He's like, he's fun.
it's like, ew, I'm gonna have to like put some wood filler on that eventually.
Yeah.
It's like, did you ever see Super Troopers?
Yeah.
It's like the eye is up there. And I still picture Sauron with like a periscope. Just moving the eye. It's just a big magnification of his eye looking around. And his like captain is like, sir, what about that little guy? And he like periscopes over and he goes, that little guy? Don't worry about that little guy. And then,
God, I love that movie. But really though, that's the point he's making, is that nowhere is safe in Mordor. That's not what he ever claimed. That's what no sane thing would think. But there are places that are less watched, and this is one of them. Because
Plus, if somebody were to attack from that direction, they would have to have lots of boats and things crossing the river, so they would already know about it.
right,
Mhm.
it's
right,
not really a sneakable path unless you have nobody with you, which is a death sentence.
Exactly.
right. Unless you were one sickly little stick monster and two children wrapped in invisibility cloaks.
What could possibly go wrong?
But what this little path is it's a little staircase. It's a secret side path that leads to a staircase, a very terrible staircase. But you take this staircase up the side of the mountain, and it leads to a tunnel. You go through the tunnel, and then it lets you out on the other side on a little cleft, little plateau. And then
Little cleft lip.
and then that you're at a high pass through the mountains. That's your way through. It's not the main road at the fortress. It's a little path higher up. And Smeagol says, that's it. That's the best I got. That's how, when I escaped this god-awful place, that's how I got out. Frodo and Sam are again looking at each other going like, escaped. Right, Smeagol. That's because Frodo makes the point that when Aragorn found you at the edge of the dead marshes, that was his opinion. Not that you escaped, that you were let loose.
Yeah.
Or your escape was arranged so you thought you had escaped. Because like a demented Truffles pig, he was going to go out into the world and look for the ring. Right?
Chris and I both just lost it.
God damn it.
What? It's
Oh, now I want bacon.
I want truffles.
there it is. Okay. See? I'm good at this.
Yeah, truffle fries. Is that our treat?
Ooh, wouldn't that be fun?
Shit.
Right. But so with that though, like Smeagol shuts down. He is like, no, I escaped. And he starts talking like almost like a normal person again. He's like, I escaped. I found the way. This is how I got out. And Frodo takes notice because now Smeagol's not talking in the third person.
Yeah.
And so he's like, you know what? It may or may not actually be true, but you think it's true. And that's good enough for me.
Yeah.
He considers it and he's trying to think in the back. Because again, it's still the same morning. They haven't moved anywhere. They've just been looking out over this ridge at the Black Gate of Mordor going, yeah, fuck, there's a giant army going out. That's another army headed towards Gondor. We have this impassable gate, this impossible to get through or sneak around entrance. We need something. And Frodo still thinks Gandalf is dead. But he's doing his best to think back and ask himself, what would Gandalf do?
I have that written in my notes. Frodo still thinks Gandalf is dead.
That's so funny.
Well,
All right. My mind to your mind. Thanks, baby. But
That was cool.
yeah, we the same person. So anyway, so Frodo is kind of like staring off into the middle distance, kind of asking himself, what would Gandalf do? And he can't really come up with anything because the fact is Aragorn could have told him some things about Minas Ithil and about this pass called Cirith Ungol. He could have told him some things and none of it would have been good. And Gandalf would have warned him away from this place. But Frodo doesn't really have that information. He doesn't really know. So he's just trying to make a good choice with the information he has. And really, he's presented with bad choices all around. He can walk into the front door and just be scooped up and captured. Or he can try this thing that probably won't work. But even probably won't work is infinitely better than any of his other choices.
Right.
And so as he's considering this, the hobbits become aware of something circling and like diving and swooping, and then a second and a third and a fourth. And again, it's the Black Riders. It's the Nazgûl. It's this very real reminder that they're being hunted.
It's not just one flying one.
It's and not
Which is
just
kind of,
two.
it's kind of been like one of them flies now.
Mhm.
It's been the thing.
Mm.
And now it's like all of them fly, I guess.
At least four. And
Yeah.
at least four of them are right fucking here.
Do you get the feeling that they are specifically hunting for Frodo and the ring? Or are they just sort of on lookout duty?
I would say they're hunting for Frodo in the ring.
Wow.
I
So he knows they're close.
Maybe.
I'm sure he can feel the presence of the ring.
Although this is at the same time that he's sending people, Nazgûl, out to
Mhm.
Isengard.
Mhm.
Yep.
Is this around when they Pippin accidentally looks at the Palantir
Mhm.
and Sauron knows that a halfling has a ring?
Yeah, we're still very much in that
Yeah.
time frame, right? We are still not really past the narrative of the last book at this point.
Right.
So everything that we read about in the last book with the Rohirrim and Gandalf and Gimli and Legolas, Merry and Pippin, that's all happening while we're here, more or less. Not exactly, but kind of.
This makes so much sense because I do believe Sauron can sense his ring. I mean, in chapter 3 or 4, I can't remember. I think it's 4. I think it's Shortcut to Mushrooms, but I might be wrong. We have the moment where they're kind of hiding in the tree and the Black Rider comes and it's like sniffing and it's like it feels its pull towards it. It knows it's nearby. So I have to assume if the fucking Nazgûl feel it, Sauron's got to feel it.
But at the same time, he sent a Nazgûl all the way out to Isengard.
I don't think he sees it like a
Simply because
GPS.
there's a
I think
hobbit
it's
there.
like Isengard's not terribly far from where they are, right?
It's fair enough.
It's like 300 miles easy.
Okay. So 300 miles is a lot closer than the Shire was, which is where they found it, right? So it might be that Sauron literally is feeling it and going, Saruman has it.
Mm-hmm.
It's close to, it's not far. Saruman has it.
Right. Because that's a point that Gandalf makes is that, remember, because everybody who knew why they snatched Merry and Pippin is dead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And because Pippin looked into the Palantir, Sauron assumed, oh, it's my little hobbit with the little thing. Suddenly it makes sense that
It's
Saruman is not reporting back. Suddenly it makes sense that he's not, in touch anymore.
Yeah.
Like, Saruman's got his mind on the ring. He might have it now.
Which makes more sense now looking back that after Pippin looked into the Palantir, it's like that Nazgûl's like, phew,
Yeah.
I'm going.
Mhm.
I'm going.
Mm-hmm.
Because I bet you there was an order like, it's not far.
Right.
Find it.
Right. Yeah.
I feel it somewhere.
Mhm.
It's not Shire. It's close now.
Mhm.
It's the closest
Mhm.
maybe it's ever been.
Mhm.
So who knows? Interesting.
Yeah. Sauron's fear is not that someone will destroy the ring, because that literally does not occur to him. It's that someone more powerful will take the ring and then become more powerful than Sauron. So he's only going to look at centers of power. He's only going to look where there's powerful people, where
Right.
armies can gather,
That's a good
where this reality can manifest and hurt him.
Right.
He is not worried that the weird little monster he set free is going to turn around and drag the ring back into Mordor.
Why would you destroy the greatest creation in
Yeah.
Earth, on Earth?
Right.
That's his mindset.
That's exactly it.
There's no chance you would.
The Nazgûl are still there. They're still looking. They can still sense the ring. They're still dangerous. And Frodo and Sam and Gollum are being actively hunted by like some of the most evil beings in existence.
Yeah.
And while this is clicking in the back of Frodo's head, Sam's like, you see that? It's Nazgûl. And Frodo's like, do you hear that? What the fuck is that? Because suddenly an army comes marching up the goddamn road. Because they're sitting in that bridge looking over the road across to the Black Gate, and up from the south comes this army. Just marching men. Noise and drums and voices. And they all sink back down, and Gollum's like, oh yeah, these are men from the deep south. It's crazy. They have gold rings and long hair, and it's nuts. It's terrible. Boo. And Sam can only think, wait, from the south? Like where there's Oliphants? Oliphants? Oliphants?
Timothy's?
Yeah.
Oliphants? Terrible actor.
Yes. But essentially Sam forgets everything. And again, a moment of childlike wonder is just enamored with the idea that there's going to be an Oliphant, which is basically an elephant. And he stands up and in the middle of fucking Mordor recites a poem about elephants.
With an army approaching.
I love though he had to put his hands behind his back. Like what a good little boy in class.
Good orator.
Yes, he had nice posture. He stood still, didn't fidget. And then proceeded to put on a
It
big show.
reminded me in that moment of like a little boy with his mother.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, "Mommy, I'd like a cookie." And then mom's like, "A cookie? Why do you think you should have a cookie?" And he stands up and puts his hands behind his back and goes, "I'm so glad you asked, Mommy." Prepare for my argument, my presentation.
Oh my God.
And then he presents, and then Gollum is like, no elephants. There's no elephants. I haven't seen any
He said, "What's
elephants.
an elephant?" And he went, and like did the whole thing. You're like, "What the fuck, dude?"
Yeah, and Gollum's like, I don't know what that is. I don't want anything like that to exist.
Your poem sucks.
This is bullshit. And Frodo laughs. And Frodo's like, yeah, you know what, Sam? Elephants. It would be nice. Oliphants. Oliphants. It would
know what
be
you mean.
wonderful. Right.
Yeah.
The word elephant is copyrighted, as everyone knows.
Right. And the reason I'm saying it this way is because the way Tolkien spells this is like OLI fant. So it's like
PHAUNT.
yeah,
It's wild spelling.
Yeah. But Sam has delivered this little impassioned poem, and Frodo, it kind of shakes Frodo out of the funk he's in, and he just kind of shrugs his shoulder. He's like, you know what, Sam? Yeah, you know what I want though? I want 1,000 elephants, and I want Gandalf on a white elephant in the front, and then maybe we could ram down the Black Gate, and then maybe we can get into Mordor that way. But failing that, we're going to take the sneaky little path with Gollum. So as soon as the yellow face goes down, guys, we're heading out. And that's how the chapter ends.
Such a weird ending. It's like a quirky
It was so quirky.
scene out of like a buddy cop road trip movie.
It was
Where
just
like they break down and the truckers like need a lift and they're like, okay. And they get on. It was like a weird shift in tone.
You kids ever been to Mexico?
Mexico!
It was nice to see Sam though, like be more Sam that we know and
Yeah.
love. Like he
Yeah.
wasn't murderous. He wasn't grumpy. He was like reciting a poem he wrote about a mythical creature that he would love to see. It was such a throwback to like book one Sam.
Well, think about even with
Yeah.
Sam has the follow up to that line there, where he sort of is debating in his head. He has like a whole thought process that says like what he thought, and he goes, "Should I take a look, risk or no? It's worth dying to see. If it was an elephant on the other side of the hill." Like,
Oh, right.
he's
Oh
like,
yeah, and he lifts up.
he's like back in the bar with old Gaffer with Bill Sandeman,
Ted.
with Ted Sandeman. Talking about whether or not there's an elf nearby that somebody saw. It's like the
Yeah.
curiosity
Yeah.
in Sam came back, which is why it reminded me of like a child. It's like a childlike wonder. And in that moment, the last like couple chapters, Sam's been very like war mode, like driven to be like, let's do the task, whatever we need to do, and then get the fuck home. Whatever we got to do. And in this moment, he's like, yes, mommy. You know, he's very childlike, like, ooh, I might die, but I could see an elephant before I die.
Right.
It's a really
And
nice
he weighs
little-
that. He like weighs
Yeah.
that decision.
It's like, I'm dead anyway.
Yeah.
But elephant.
What the fuck, dude?
I just love the humor of his audience. Like Frodo probably is politely listening, kind of like, I don't know where this is coming from. We don't have time for this. But he gives him like a polite face. I just try to picture Gollum's expression and body while Sam goes on this diatribe about this creature. I just see him like sign and like be like, and his one hair like blows up.
The fat one.
Yeah, part of me feels like Gollum just like his eyes unfocus. And he just like
God.
starts thinking about fish.
Oh my gosh.
Well, he listened enough that he knew he did not want to see one.
Right. Because it wasn't fish shaped.
True.
No, I don't know. But this is an interesting point though about Sam, right?
Yeah.
Because fundamentally, the core of Sam's like childlike, good-natured perseverance is so far untouched. Like that's the message from that, right? It's like the Sam we know from the Shire is still there somewhere, even if he's being tested by his journey. On the other hand is Frodo, who we just got shown a little steel, right? He just kind of pulled the knife out and was like, Gollum, I will tell you to kill yourself at any goddamn time I want, and you'll do it.
Yeah.
And I know that, and now you know that I know that.
So we keep having these moments in the Fellowship of the Ring, and now it's happened a couple times in Two Towers where ultimately one of our characters does something that causes another character to look at them differently. I believe it first happens with Legolas. He gets out of the little canoe and he shoots the Nazgul in the dark. And Pippin, Merry, Sam, one of the hobbits looks up at him and is like, this is no longer our friend Legolas. This is like
The Prince of the
murderer in
Elves.
the night, Prince of Elves. Like, then we had that with Aragorn. We see this with Frodo, where Sam in this chapter sees Frodo in a whole new light. He's like, oh my God, I completely misjudged him. Like a little bit of like a dark side to him.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say that camera flips on Sam. What is it that we see?
It's interesting. So when it starts out, I think he's just going to be the loving sidekick and just like the helpful, friend. But really, the longer the story goes, that's getting stripped away to really seeing like he's being set up for a true like classical literature hero's journey. Like he's getting put in these really tough situations, and you're really seeing him rise in these occasions and find something outside of himself that is bigger than himself, that's only rooted in love for other people. It's not about Sam. His love of the Shire, his love of elves and like magic and pure things, or Frodo, is what makes him rise up and be strong or murderous or all these other things that he has to be. And he's able to fluctuate and become these different versions of himself in these moments. And it's all from love. I think that's really cool, because that to me is a true hero's journey. Is like he's going on this quest and he's not even the lead of the quest, and he's the one that's going through the changes. Because overall, Frodo kind of stays like one level so far.
Yeah, that's really interesting. And I love that point, because like Frodo feels like he is obligated to do this. Like this is the burden that's been placed on him. And while Sam also feels obligated, you're right. It's not his burden to bear.
No, but he still chooses it every day.
He does. Yeah. That's cool.
It's really interesting because Sam brings up discussion about the old gaffer, what his father would think of him.
Yeah.
What his father would say
He does
about
that
him.
a
That made me
lot.
sad.
Mm-hmm.
So
He has some daddy
I think
trauma.
it's very clear Sam in his pre-journey across Middle-earth life was a bit of a fuck-up. Enough for his father to constantly tell him he's going to mess up this, you couldn't do this, you can't do that.
Mm-hmm.
He probably was like trying his hardest, but screwed up a bunch of things enough to have his father's perception of his son change.
Or just like a failure to launch kind of a person, not
Same thing,
necessarily
yeah.
fuck everything up.
Well,
Not
failure
like
to launch
that.
is a pretty big fuck-up.
If you
Yeah,
think
that's a-
if you
don't
think
have
of
to do
a
anything
bigger one.
wrong
That's
for
an
that
even
to
bigger
happen.
one.
That's a big statement.
that is. But if you think about Sam, like he always had I feel like his eyes up in the clouds, like trying to find elves, think about Oliphants. And I think he's a dreamer in the Shire
Mm-hmm.
when he's in that safe environment. And maybe that's why he sort of was a failure to his dad, because his dad seems to be very practical. He was the master gardener. He
Yeah.
woke up every day and worked in the earth, like a very humbling profession, very sacred profession in this world. But it's like he woke up and was practical. And there's his son in the forest being like, I think I saw an elf.
I
You
think
know?
the thing about
Right.
Sam, who is ironically Samwise, I think what Sam wants to be, and what I'm hoping that we're heading towards, and I'm starting to feel like we're heading towards, is that he will become wise Sam.
Mm-hmm.
Do you get the feeling that he was perfectly content in the Shire with his station in life?
I think he was a dreamer. No, I think he thinks he was, but I think really he wanted adventure.
You know, RJ said something that's like, I think it's exactly true. I think it's like a daddy drama.
Mhm.
And Gandalf is the new daddy.
Ooh.
And
He thinks
Gandalf
he's
tasked
dead.
him with a task: protect Frodo and do what you need to do to be there for him. And I think that's the last in his head. At every single moment, he's going, protect Frodo, do what you need to do to be there for him. Protect Frodo, do what you need to do, so that he doesn't let Gandalf down the way that he let his gaffer down. Whether we've seen it or not, I think it's already in motion.
Mhm.
And I think it started from when he got pulled in through the window from Gandalf.
Yeah, and based on that and the fact that there's, 2.5 more books for us to read, I'm thinking he maybe hasn't hit rock bottom yet.
100%.
I don't
I
think-
agree.
Nobody has hit rock bottom yet.
Right.
Yeah.
Not even Gandalf hit rock bottom. He hit a lake.
Yeah.
It hit lake bottom.
He hit lake bottom.
Hi-oh.
He hit
Which
bottom
had
lake.
rocks in it.
Turns
out.
But he, yeah.
And then, when he
Which
said
broke his
lake bottom, and I said,
uncircumcised
and then
penis.
ironically, he came back with a naked bottom.
Oh, God, damn.
Are we ready to jump into this?
Yeah. The first thing I want to talk about is the maps. and all the description that went into this chapter that made no fucking sense at all to me until I read it 6 times and then flipped to the big map of Mordor, like the blown up map in the back. And that was the only way I could wrap my head around this chapter and like where they were in relation to Mordor and all of these passes and stuff that they're talking about. So I can highly recommend anybody reading through this, look at the map, please.
Maybe we should take a quick second and talk about that, because 600 pages of narrative have taken us to Mordor. Finally, the goal is to get the ring to Mordor.
Mm-hmm.
And the chapter starts with, they have arrived at Mordor. Like in writing, Tolkien says that, but what does that mean?
Yeah.
Mordor is basically a square country in the extreme southeast of Middle-earth. The entirety of the country that we give a shit about is the northwest corner, because at the extreme northwest corner is the Black Gate. Right? That's the
That was what I
Morannon.
had such a hard time locating.
Morannon?
Moranan. I'm just kidding.
Like very Scottish. But no, to your point, Laura, there is a, like, narratively, we don't get a very good description of like what Middle-earth looks like. So if Mordor is a rectangle in the southeast corner of the map, the northwest corner of that is the Black Gate.
Right.
It's where the 2 mountain ranges meet. It's where the mountains of shadow that run north-south head north, and where Ered Lithwi, the Ash Mountains, run west. They meet in a corner. That corner is the Black Gate.
And that is where they're hiding out.
Yep, that's where they're looking at this.
It took me quite some time to locate that on the map and figure it out. Because I don't think Morannon is on the blown up map of Mordor.
Mm-mm.
So I was like, oh.
And the real point to make is that even though Mordor is a country that's hundreds of miles across, we only give a shit about the extreme northwest corner that's maybe 100 miles across. Because that's where the Black Gate is.
Yeah.
That's where Barad-dûr, the Black Tower, is. That's where the Cracks of Doom are. That's where the volcano is. All these things are very, very close to each other in the northwest part of the country. So when Gollum suggests that they go kind of far south, like 100 miles south, to go across,
We have to walk it.
and they got to walk it, then they got to climb over the mountains, and then they go back 100 miles north. Like, this is not a small detour, but also it's not.
Jesus, 200 miles plus mountains.
Yes.
Walking.
Yes.
That's good. Oh my God.
Although, but to be fair, it is further from where they are, down south and back up, the whole deal. That is a shorter journey than from the Shire to Rivendell.
Yeah, they
Wow.
got across the dead marshes and the battle plain in 3 days, right?
Mhm.
That's
Yeah.
roughly the same distance.
I mean, yeah, if you look at this map, like as a straight line, just miles counted, they're 95% of the way there.
yeah.
They are so close.
Which begs the question: 3 more books?
2.5, 2.5.
2.5 more books?
Because guys, yeah, we're barely over half of the way there, narratively.
Yeah.
So what's gonna happen?
Well, Laura, when you were saying that the Black Gate wasn't on the map, I just thought, do you think that's intentional?
Ooh.
Do you think either Sauron's magic like keeps it off maps? He doesn't want anyone to know where the entrance is, or do you think people are so afraid of it they're like, don't go there, so it's just like not on the map? Doesn't
Well, it's on
exist.
this map.
It's on this one, but in the back of the book, it's not on there, right?
But
Well, I think this is a blown up version of like the
This is the world map. It's not the Mordor map.
world
yeah,
map.
the
Yeah.
Mordor map has roads on it. Like, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, it does.
But to RJ's point, though, is this maybe not like a piece of almost useless information? It's like, who gives a shit what the interstate inside Mordor looks like? You'll never get there. You'll never use it. You'll be killed way before you ever get there.
So the one thing I want to bring up about the Black Gate is there was a little bit of a description that came from Gollum, which is that no one can enter without passwords or unless they were summoned, which is very interesting to me because I can imagine when Gollum says that to Frodo, it's kind of like the most defeating, useless information possible.
Yeah.
Like, we're looking at a fortified wall. How tall would you say this wall is? This gate wall?
I don't know, 60 feet.
It's
fucking enormous.
Huge. And there's towers, and there's thousands of people, and there's orcs. And in this, you're looking at this going, we have got the greatest task of our life in front of us now. We're here. And Gollum's like, you can't get in without a password. And you're like, that's the issue? The password? What the fuck are you talking? We're not going to walk up and go, pineapple, and it's going to open. That's not happening. But it also made me think about, there's like a change of guard and a bunch of horns. You know, that comes in my head. Yeah. Of like, there's like clearly behind the gates orcs that are like in the orchestra. And
Orchestra!
Oh my God, the orchestra.
And they have their instruments and somebody's conducting them. And they're like, tap, 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 tap. I'll take this. They're like, 3, 2, and
it's just everybody playing as loud as they can.
Oh my God.
Bop. And then they're like, Tom, you need to speed up a little bit. You're a little, you're lagging in the second half of the paraphrase of the second refrain.
Right.
You know?
It reminds me of your comment from Moria, like the one orc accidentally, or the goblin, like does the drum beat too late, and they're like, stop it, he's done, and he does another one, and he just can't stop. It's like a vicious cycle.
And Sauron's like, we must murder anyone that comes anywhere near us, and we will protect us at all costs. And I must rule Middle Earth with this ring. And on Wednesday, I want to hear the new tenors.
Hey guys, what do you call the orc band underground?
What?
The pit orchestra.
Oh, you're fired.
I know.
Oh my God.
So it's just really interesting that in this like whole world of like evil and taking over the world, that the arts still play a role.
Meanwhile, this is what's happening in Chris's head.
There's
Meanwhile,
face paint.
they gave one orc a trumpet and he's going,
Right.
that's
Like,
it.
Chris's rich tapestry of an imagination has painted an orchestra, and the reality is it's one dude doing ska.
Oh my God. And like his
Day shift
horn
changed
is
to
just like a
night
human
shift.
bone. Yeah, it's like really gross.
Oh,
Yeah. But in Chris's mind, it's a beautiful orchestra for the conductor.
orchestra.
And they're
Amazing.
like,
God, that's
we need to
fucking good.
get better. We need to practice on Thursdays.
Oh my God.
So here's my question: how does this change if being in the orchestra is a good thing versus being a punishment?
I don't know. I mean,
my dad was in the Navy as a drummer.
Right.
Like, that's a thing.
that's my point exactly. She made my point.
And especially orcs are, like you said, a manipulation of elves.
Mhm.
Elves love song
And
and they love creating things. And
And
so
the orcs love grog, so they're getting drunk. They're playing songs.
What do you think? Because elves love songs and poems, right? What do you
Mhm.
think an orc poem is like? Is it all haikus?
oh God. Having to hear
He
Ugla.
bled. He bled. My knife through his head.
Krishnak, you can't rhyme head with dead with blood again.
Well, I just did. So that's what happens.
I mean,
The end of literally every line is just blood.
if
I
Ozzy
describe
could
blood
rhyme,
with blood every line.
if Ozzy can rhyme masses with masses, so can I.
That's so funny.
Speaking of the orchestra's trumpets, at one point, it seemed like Frodo, he saw an army approaching the gate. The trumpets were blazing. Blowing? What
Blaring?
do trumpets do?
Blaring?
Blair.
Yes, thank you. The trumpets were blaring, and for a moment, Frodo thought it was an army from Gondor attacking. And suddenly he realized that the trumpets were actually in greeting. And my brain was a little mushy here because I was like, wait, then who is it? Is it like other armies arriving to join the fight? Was it the night guard switching with the day guard? I don't know.
The trumpets?
Not the trumpets.
the army.
The army that he saw
Oh.
approaching that
Okay.
he thought was Gondor.
Frodo's confusion was that he felt like it was almost like deja vu, because remember when he was in Amon Hen and he was on top of that throne of seeing, and he saw a bunch of different things. He saw some armies.
doing?
Why are you doing this to me? Love you, but why are you doing this to me? Get out of my brain.
Oh my God. But Chris is like, hurry it up. I'm going to make you repeat everything you just said.
Why are you doing this? What did I do to you?
It's freaky, right?
Yeah. Stop it. You live with him?
Taken from Evan Head.
So
Anyway.
But what this is that so what that is it's almost like a deja vu for Frodo, because back on Amon Hen, before the breaking of the Fellowship, when he got up on the throne and he like saw the world, kind of one of the things he saw was like the strength of Minas Tirith, and he saw armies moving.
Mm-hmm.
And he, in a moment of hope, had been like, yes, the power of Gondor is real. But now he sees this happening, and it's the opposite. This is a huge army moving in the strength of Mordor, moving against Gondor.
Mhm.
So that's why this is important.
So is it outside people coming to join the fight?
Yes.
Okay.
This is Sauron summoning soldiers from beyond the edges of the map, from the
Yeah.
far east and the far south, in to come and fight Gondor on his behalf, in addition to all the orcs of the world.
Can we talk about Slinker and Stinker?
Oh my god. I love
Not on
that.
Which
camera.
one's Slinker? Which one's Stinker?
So Slinker is Smeagol.
Yeah.
Stinker is Gollum,
Yeah.
I think.
Yep.
Mhm.
But they are the most amazing names. And Sam came up with those, right?
Right.
There is
Those are
like
like-
pet names for him.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Why couldn't we have started with those names? Come on.
So great.
To be fair, if Sam 2 chapters ago had started calling them Slinker and Stinker, would you ever bother calling them Gollum and Smeagol again?
God, no.
They're amazing.
No.
I'm
don't need
locked
to.
on these names forever now.
Chris will never call them Smeagol and Gollum again.
And they just make me feel like, once again, Smeagol Gollum is like a stray cat that just found Frodo and Sam.
Yeah.
And like Sam's nickname is like, he's like the dad that didn't want the cat. He's like, come here, Slinker. Come here, Stinker.
And they're like, what'd you name that kitten you found? He's like, I don't know, cinnamon, salt, pepper,
Yeah, but
Yeah.
at the end of those stories,
ice, glass.
the dad is always
no.
like
That's drugs.
sleeping with the cat curled up on his lap and purring. I get the feeling that isn't going to happen here.
Well, speaking of Stinker, there's a moment where Frodo brings up, for the first time, he calls him Gollum instead of Smeagol.
Yeah.
Ooh.
And it's a really interesting sort of like show of power in a manipulative way. The last chapter and all of this chapter, when Frodo communicates with Gollum, he actually calls him Smeagol. He's appealing to his softer side. He's trying to build a kinship, a friendship, a trust of any kind to get this monster to not kill them
Mhm.
and to do as he needs him to do. Take me to Mordor.
Yeah.
And it's a bit manipulative, but he's like appealing to the vulnerable side.
He's appealing to the human side,
Well,
the
maybe.
hobbit side.
I don't know about
Yeah,
human.
yeah.
Human spelled Heuman.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's
It's like the Timu human
you know,
side.
yeah, it's it's human. But honestly, there's a moment though where he sort of was like, "Hey, don't forget, you've revealed yourself, and you swore upon the ring, and blah blah blah." And he says, "And Gollum." It was kind of an FU moment from Frodo to Gollum / Smeagol. There's definitely like a line in the sand drawn of like, "Hey, just a heads up, I'm not afraid to kill you."
I'm on to you.
But not that
Come on to
Frodo
you.
is like, I see you and I know who you really are. I know that Gollum is actually controlling things and you're placating me by being the loving, simpering Smeagol. And you're not showing your true cards, but I already know. I
Yeah.
already know it's you.
Yeah. It's like, you want to be a puppy? Fine. Show me the puppy face. I will kill you the moment it becomes convenient.
Puppies poop in the cage, and in the cage you go.
In the fire, you go.
In the fire you go. In the cage
He
of the
literally says
flame.
that. He said, I'd make you go into the fire. I'm like, damn.
Yeah. When they're talking about the Tower of the Moon, there's a mention of Isildur, actually.
Yeah. Isildur, who cut the ring from Sauron's hand, built the Tower of the Moon, built Minas Ithil. He built Minas Tirith. He built Osgiliath. Like, these were the places that his people made.
Yeah.
This was a stronghold of old Gondor, of Númenóreans.
Yeah.
So Sauron has a visceral connection to these locations. So when he overran it and destroyed it and turned it into Minas Morgul, the Tower of Sorcery, an evil place, that was a big win for him.
Yeah.
Like personally.
Oh, yeah.
Mhm.
It's a bit of revenge, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
But it must have been some sort of great story that Smeagol knew about and talked about, because kind of like made him shudder because he knew about the fingers.
Right.
And he brings up something where he says Sauron only has 4 fingers on the Black Hand, but that those fingers are enough. And my question was, man, what did Sauron do with those 4 fingers to Gollum?
Well, you see, in Jersey, they got something called the shocker.
Oh no.
Well, speaking of Gollum and Sauron, like earlier in the chapter, when Gollum is realizing that Frodo plans on taking the ring to Mordor, he is so worked up that he's going to take it to him, aka Sauron, that he says, don't let him have it.
You don't even need the
says
ring
that.
finger.
He says, don't let him have it. He will eat
Stinker.
us. Oh God! Slinker and Stinker as a
Stinker
whole.
and Pinker.
Slinker and Stinker.
Stinker and Pinker.
Where there goes that G rating.
Okay. So anyway, he says, don't let him have it. He will eat us all. He will eat up the world.
Mm.
And that's the first time I really understood. Like, granted, I know it's Smeagol's language. He doesn't have as much of a vocabulary as most of the other characters. But when he said that, it really made me think of the ring wraiths. Like, look what happened to these great men, these great kings.
He ate them.
Well, no, he turned them into wraiths. They are not of the living. They are not of the dead. They cannot die, but they also can't do anything besides his will. They're tied to him.
They kind of like live in their own world.
They're in the shadow world of his dark power, and they're at his beck and call. Literally can have no eternal peace, no rest. It's everything is about him. And that moment, that quick little line made me realize, like, that is the fate of Middle Earth and everyone here if he gets the ring. It really, for some reason, Smeagol's quick line really like hit that home for me more than Elrond, more than Gandalf. They're like, it's going to be terrible. And that's like all they would say. But Smeagol so simply put it in a way that really spelled it out for me.
And he has a similar line at the end of the chapter where he says, one day all the people will be inside Mordor.
Right.
Oh,
And it's,
Either literally or like
or
figuratively.
Mordor expands and becomes the whole world.
Or also that.
Or everyone outside of it dies.
That too. Ooh, that's bad.
Yeah.
Right? Well, remember the Brown lands? That used to be the Endwives lands.
If you kill everyone and the only people who are not dead are inside, then technically everyone's inside.
Right.
Although I would argue that Sauron probably wants to just take over all of Middle Earth and have it all be Mordor.
Right, because he's trying to, what was the quote? Like he's trying to fix
That's
it
a lot
or
of
save it.
rezoning.
In his
you know.
mind, he's like fixing Middle Earth.
Right.
Okay. He's making
Right.
it better.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And actually, I have a question for you too. So later in the chapter, once again, Gollum is talking about Sauron and Mordor and all that stuff. And he says, the road climbs right under the shadow of the walls and passes the gate. He's kind of describing the area they're in. And he says, nothing moves on the road that they don't know about. The things inside know, the silent watchers. And then that's all we get for right now. That's all the information we have. But he is warning them of something that is in their presence that even the orcs fear and are aware of.
It's the silent watchers of Minas Ithil.
Yeah. Which is the Tower of the Moon.
Mm-hmm.
Which is once Numenorian, but has now been
Minas
tainted
Morgul.
and destroyed by Sauron. So I was just curious, did you guys have any thoughts on the Silent Watchers? Do you have any ideas what they might be?
My first thought is birds, but birds are not silent.
Ooh.
Birds are dickheads and they scream a lot. Because that's the only thing that's really been like watching them from afar and like reporting back to Sauron this whole time. It's probably not it.
Interesting.
But that was the first thing that occurred to me.
Yeah. Like the birdhouse where all the birds return to.
You think it's a giant,
The
like,
silent watchers.
You think it's a giant tower of birds?
it's like a bunch of pigeons?
No, I just think that like
Are they
his
all the same kind of birds?
his spies are in there.
Mhm.
And they just happen to be
return to their
birds.
perches.
Okay. So like,
Maybe they're all like crows.
What does silent watchers mean, though? Right? Is silent just mean they don't speak normally, or do they?
Here's what I think. Are you ready?
They've all had their tongues cut out.
I think that so because Minas Morgul, right? So that means it's sorcery, which means it has something to do with some sort of like dark magic, which means somebody had to experience that dark magic. And I think that there are people in that tower, and Sauron went, "You're all fucked," and they all went, "No," and they all became fucked. And then they're stuck in there, and it's spirits, and they're good people. or maybe not good people, but they're not bad people,
Mhm.
and they're unable to communicate, and they just live there and they can't leave. And that is the silent watchers.
Oh, you think
So-
he's
so-
just like reads their minds and sees everything they see?
And so it's
I don't think it has any connection. I think
They're
that
not
that
a
is
tool at all.
I don't think they're a tool. I think they just
Interesting.
see all. The moon is not on my side, but the moon sees all of the night.
Well, that's cool. The moon's a silent
And so I
watcher in the
think
Tower
that-
of the Moon?
I think that it's a similar fashion of that there's something in that tower that watches that's not a tool, that is stuck there and can't communicate with anything. That's why they're silent.
Mhm.
If they were communicating with Sauron, they wouldn't be the silent watchers. They would be the talkative watchers, my scouts or whatever. And so that's my thought. That's my theory.
That's really cool,
So I might
guys.
be crazy wrong, but
So it's that or birds? No,
Or just eyeballs. Just
Yeah,
little
eyeballs.
mini
No, but-
Sauron's eyeballs
he
everywhere.
saves all the
No.
eyeballs of all the hobbits he kills.
oh Jesus! So none so far.
Well,
Yeah.
that we've heard of.
Right.
They're
But-
silent. They can't say.
But this is interesting though, right? Because this all comes back to silent watchers, right? Watchers, eyes, all these things. You went like right where sort of Tolkien's mythology goes.
Yeah.
Because so much of magic is not about doing incredible things. It's about knowing things. It's about having information you couldn't otherwise have. And so I like that when you were like, I'm going to tie this into the mythology. You're like, what makes sense given the world we're informed about? You were like, it's all about information. It's shitty and there's like souls of the damned and whatnot. And it's not like there's, a demon guarding a doorway. It's just people know things.
Yeah.
And that's so on point.
Well, didn't we have somebody in another chapter say, I believe it was Celeborn, say, don't discount like old wives' tales. Someone's old wife talked about this.
Someone's old wife.
She ran her
And
mouth.
she was a human, which is
Lobelia.
H-E-U-M-A-N.
Oh my
She was a
God.
human.
Well, after such a dark and horrible chapter, I was so pleased that they ended on Sam's poem about Oliphants. It was just this little touch of levity and light at the end of such a terrible chapter.
I
Yeah.
think that the perfect thing to do right now is you two do an impersonation of Sam doing the poem. Word for word. Go.
Word for word. Well, I happen to have it in front of me, so gray
Hand
as a mouse.
Hand behind your back.
Gray as a mouse. Big as a house. Nose like a snake. I make the earth shake. As I tramp through the grass, trees crack as I pass. With horns in my mouth, I walk in the south. How long do I have to do this?
The whole thing.
I thought you said you too. Where was I?
Okay, Bono.
It's you, Slinker and Stinker over there.
I was going to let this go for as long as it lasted.
It doesn't need to. It doesn't need to.
You're the one taking forever. Did you make this dramatic reading? You're the one that made me read it. I mean, geez, if you want to read it,
go
Laura,
half-ass.
you
She's
know,
gonna go
it's
full
fucking-
ass.
Whole
Right.
ass.
Anyway, we're good.
Listen,
That was my only point. I was really happy that there was a little bit of levity at the end of the chapter.
It was good.
It was
It was good.
great.
Yeah.
It was great. You did a great job.
Thanks.
Sam did a great job. I was very proud of him. He
He remembered the whole
performed
thing.
poetry
He
in the middle of
did.
nowhere. You're right, though. It was a nice little ending to the chapter. It like
Yeah.
lifted us up, especially because he's like, I will die to see these elephants.
Mm.
Frodo's like, don't be an idiot. I was like, all right, thank you. Voice of reason.
Yeah.
Do you think Sam's a product of the Shire's public school system?
Do you think they have a public school system?
I'm afraid that I'm really nervous that the gardener's son wouldn't have gone to school. He went to trade school. He was like digging holes at 6.
Sam went to Shire.
School of Weird Knocks.
It was a private school. They call them Shirts when you graduate. The alumni.
Charts.
Shirts.
The Shire School of the Arts.
Yeah.
Oh God! I was Sharks class of 34. Oh my God!
My grandpappy's been a shark. My mother's been a shark, and I'll be a shark.
Oh God.
That's the last thing I do.
You are going
God.
to be a shark.
My
Damn
mammy
it.
always said, "Be a shark or be no one."
Treat.
We sure do.
I'm ready. Let's
so
do it.
excited for this.
Let's move the fuck on.
Yeah. Open your
Yeah.
eyes in 3, 2, 1.
Oh my god!
So, this is the Black Hand of Sauron.
Yes.
You may
Holy
notice
moly.
there are still 5 fingers,
And a cat.
and
just kidding.
Zippers has
We have a
decided
cat
to
here.
join us.
Hello, handsome boy.
Hi, buddy.
Hello, cat.
So for our
Is
audio,
Zippers Sauron?
no zippers. No, zippers is Saruman.
He's the
white.
silent watcher,
Saruman
but not
the
so
White. Get out of
silent.
here,
But
Bubba.
not so silent watcher.
Yeah.
Watch out.
What Laura has done is she baked a delicious brownie pan and cut it into the shape of a hand.
Now,
This isn't Sauron, though.
here's the thing. There's 5 fingers, and the reason for that is because I could not find any definitive answer as to which finger got cut off by Isildur.
His middle.
So we're going to decide amongst us which finger goes. We're going to cut it off with a sting. And then we're going to eat the brownie.
Okay.
I think Sauron was an emo, so he put it on his thumb.
You think he put it on his thumb?
Oh, really? Okay, so
Ah.
you think thumb.
Yeah.
I think he wed himself to power, so it's his fourth
His
finger.
ring finger.
So
Okay.
his ring finger?
Ooh.
I was
So-
thinking index finger or pinky for some reason.
Pinky?
I
Was
don't
he
know.
Italian? Oh, you're Jersey.
No, not
That's-
pinky. No,
Oh my
Tom
God.
Bombadil wore it on his pinky finger, and that was in mockery. Frodo has worn it on
Tom
his.
Bombadil wore it on his dinky finger.
That's not a finger, and it's called his dinkle. And Frodo wore it on his index finger, and he's worn on a couple. But so Chris has picked a perhaps not finger. Laura can't decide, and RJ went straight for the shocker.
There is a specific reason I did not cut off the ring finger because didn't want to surprise you all with the shocker.
Okay. We're going to make a decision.
I think Chris
And
is
an
going to make
incision.
a decision.
A decision to incision.
Uh-oh.
Your
Ring
choice?
finger.
I said fourth finger, ring finger.
I feel very threatened right now. I vote for the correct finger.
Incorrect. What's the correct finger?
Guess the ring finger.
All right, what's your vote?
Middle.
I would say index.
Index. So we
However,
have 2 for ring.
That's 2 for ring.
2 for
Okay.
ring.
So ring finger it is.
Ring finger it is.
Yeah.
All right. Highway to the shocker.
Laura is now cutting off Sauron's ring finger, which is symbolic.
Symbolic.
The symbolism of Isildur cutting the ring from Sauron's hand during the War of the Last Alliance.
That felt oddly like cutting up a wedding cake.
Well, it's actually Isildur's father, right? No, Isildur's father was slain, and then Isildur took up the sword of his father. And
Back to the
did you
entertaining
just
stuff.
do?
She just ate the finger of Sauron.
All right. I'm going to cut into this.
I'm eating not Isildur. I'm eating Sauron's ring finger.
Oh, you're taking his
I was
palm.
just gonna say, I mean, like, there's 4 fingers left. Jesus, Chris. Oh my God.
Oh God.
Chris has just
Eating
taken a
directly
bite from the sword.
The sword.
I'm gonna take.
Live and die by the sword, baby.
I'm gonna take the index finger.
Died by the.
Was that tetanus?
Oh my God.
Holy
Oh
moly.
man, you guys.
It looks
We
like
need to take another picture.
it looks like an angry. Actually, it looks like Sauron's finger from the tower.
Yeah.
It looks like he's giving us all the middle finger.
It
That's
looks like
just it. Oh, yeah.
yeah, Sauron is going through high school.
Well, this recipe is thanks to King Arthur Baking. If
Amazing.
they want to go ahead and sponsor us, I will make everything from your website because everything's great.
Oh, she's good at it.
Also, I feel like we should not be shouting out people unless they're paying us.
Okay, fine.
Who, King
Fuck
Arthur?
him.
Fuck them.
Fuck him.
Fuck them. This is Laura's recipe.
No, Chris, so we'll just bleep him.
Yeah.
You know
This
what?
is Laura's recipe.
I mean, due to like word counts, I'm just going to link to the King Arthur recipe anyway.
If we've learned anything, it's that fuck you, Sauron.
That's what Sauron has to say.
Perfect. We have cut our chocolate brownie hand into a middle finger. Classic East Coast people.
Yeah.
I love it. Anyway, thanks so much for hanging out with us this week. We're so excited to be talking about Lord of the Rings, and we're so excited to be reading all of these books and all of these 2 towers. It's hard work eating a brownie.
Yeah, talking about a book we love with our friends.
Talking
It's really
about books we love
arduous.
with our friends, drinking a box of wine and eating a brownie. I mean, it's difficult Monday night.
Who didn't eat a finger?
Chris ate a palm.
I ate the palm. I don't
Eat
want to
the
hear
palm of the
anything.
hand. He ate out of the palm of Sauron's hand.
What?
I ate his hand.
We know what side he's on.
Yeah.
Thank you guys so much for tuning in this week for another amazing episode of Fool of a Took. This was a great time, and what you think is a middle finger actually turns into a submarine. Whoop. So this was a great chapter 3 of book 4 of part 2 of Lord of the Rings.
Mm-hmm.
What's the next chapter's name?
Of herbs and stewed rabbits.
Food.
Wait, actually, maybe sure they're not both plural.
Are you saying herbs or
It's
herbs?
of herbs,
Herbs.
of herbs and stewed rabbit.
Herb
Yeah.
is a man?
Herb.
Oh,
Herb.
herbs.
Herb. The next chapter is called Death to Thatcher. Is that better?
Wait, herb?
I say
Is-
herb.
Yeah,
The thing
Americans
you put us
say
off, herb
herbs.
is
Yeah.
a guy.
No, it's the other way around. Herb
can't
is a
say
person.
herbs.
Herb is a
But I think it's herbs.
Herb is not real. That's not
Herb.
true.
It is.
herb.
That's how we say it here in America.
Herb?
Herbs and
No,
spices.
you don't
Yeah,
put herbs and
spices.
spices. Herbs and spices.
All right,
Definitely
so wait,
not.
hold on. You're telling me that you go to a bowling party with herb, but you use herbs and spices?
It's herbs.
I sure as fuck don't put herbs in my soup.
You sure do.
Herbs and spices.
Herbs.
It's herbs.
Herbs.
There's an H.
It's a silent H.
It's not a silent,
Silent
H.
but
H-E has
deadly.
never once been silent. It's not E, it's he.
It sure is fucking herbs because it's short for Herbert. Not Herbert.
Herbal tea.
No, it's herbal,
Herbal
tea.
tea.
It's herbal tea.
No, it's not.
Herbal tea.
It's herbal tea.
It's herbal.
herbal tea.
Herb.
Yes! I was right, baby!
Maybe the
Cut to
British.
black.
Maybe the British say herbs, but I'm saying herbs.
It's herb.
I've said it herb my
Definitely
entire
not.
life.
That's how we say it, and we're not apologizing for it.
Well, thanks for tuning in. Next week, we're going to talk about herbs and stewed rabbit. So it's going to be a good time. If we're just going to fucking say whatever we want for pronunciations.
Well, I have to say, this
Sounds
podcast
good.
does have several
Sauron.
pronunciation controversies, and I fucking love it because we will say things how we wish because it's our podcast.
God damn it.
I am called all the way the fuck out.
It's not just you, it's a lot of us.
It's a lot of us named Pat.
Ew.
Every one of us named Pat has gone through this, okay? You know, it's universally shared amongst us called Pat.
That is not true.
I'm not always wrong.
You're not wrong. It is literally
This
a
is the classic case of
fantasy.
you're never wrong. You're just not right.
I disagree, though. It's a fantasy world. No, it's a fantasy world. I really don't think there's a wrong way to say
I'm
a
not
made-up
right.
creature's
I'm mostly
name.
wrong. But this is what the internet has decided for the fate of our lives.
Pat, I'm trying to stay up for here. I'm trying to say, I think if you want to say a made-up creature's name however you want,
Have a thumb.
you can.
Have a thumb. It'll make you feel better.
You mean a thumb?
Santa Claus with thumb in a town. We'll see you guys next week on Full of the Talk. Stay tuned for herbs and fucking rabbit shit. You know, it's coming. J.R.R. Bloken. See you guys later.
Oh my God.
Lord of the Bling.
Oh,
Get out of my house.
This guy's not having a good day. He's just doing this.
That's an OSHA violation.
oh God. If someone quickly tear off another piece, looks like a bad camel toe.